To the Boise River. The Boise Fire Department says it responds to at least a dozen emergency water rescues on the river each summer season. With services for tubing and rafting opening tomorrow, the fire department and other agencies have some important advice for you as you hit the water, whether you're a first-time river floater or just need a friendly reminder. So for more on that story, our Misty Inglet is live near the river at Ann Morrison Park. Misty?
Yeah, well, floating the Boise River is a very popular pastime. Ada County Parks and Waterways say that while several agencies work together to do the best they can to make this recreational use for all levels of experience, they would by no means call it a safe river. So they say that the water is cold, it's fast moving, and in some areas it's even deep. So they refer to that age-old saying, safety first. While this 6-mile stretch of river between Barber Park and Ann Morrison Park can be beautiful and scenic through downtown Boise, water experts say it's not necessarily a lazy river experience.
Even though a lot of the hazards have been mitigated, as you look out here, you can see tree limbs that overhang the river. And if you get under those, you can get swept off into the water. It can deflate your raft and problems can develop very quickly.
You always want to be actively involved in your river trip. From a safety standpoint. So, passively kind of just floating and going wherever the current takes you isn't always the best choice. There are times when you'll want to actively steer away from obstacles, overhanging limbs, rocks, things like that.
With water temperatures in the mid-50s, even in the hottest months of the summer, the fire department says if you fall in, the cold can potentially make you lose your ability to swim and self-rescue. So the Boise Fire Department, as well as the experts here at Barber Park, say one of the most important things when hitting the river is to make sure that you wear a life jacket. And to make sure that the jackets are ones like these that are Coast Guard certified. And remember that under state law, those 14 and under are required to always wear a life jacket. Along with a secure life jacket, you also want to make sure your other equipment is river ready and that it comes from the right source.
The other thing that we would caution people about is buying a raft from one of the superstores nearby, and that those rafts are really designed to be used in a pool or a lake, still water like Quinn's Pond or Esther Simplot Park, and not really a moving river where they can get caught up in some tree limbs. The raft then becomes deflated and now they have nothing to hold on to.
Most definitely everything we have is custom. It's all whitewater quality. They're the Ferrari model, the thickest fabric we can get, nice mesh bottom. So good quality there, meaning, if you bump into something, the odds are pretty good you're still going to make it down the rest of that 6-mile stretch.
Ada County Parks and Waterways says floating the Boise River is becoming more and more popular, with last year's turnout increasing about 40% over previous years.
It's kind of the thing, it's on everybody's summer bucket list. Kind of feels like summer doesn't truly start until we can float the Boise River.
Now, one other thing to keep in mind is drinking and floating. If you're going to be drinking before you hit the river, you want to make sure that you're smart about it and that you're not drinking too much so that you're impaired when you actually get on the river. And then actually drinking while floating, of course, is illegal. Any open containers of alcohol on the river is illegal and you can be cited. Back to you in the studio.
I agree with him. Summer doesn't really start in Boise, in my opinion, until you can float the Boise River. So we just want everyone to be safe. Misty, thank you for the reminders. And for more information on river conditions or floating the river, you can head to this story at ktvb.com.